All right, welcome to another episode. Today we have the lovely Sonja. She's a money freedom coach. She's helping people to achieve financial freedom through her empowered mind coaching business. So, Sonja, welcome to the show.
And thank you, Louis. It's such a pleasure to be here on your podcast.
Thank you. And tell us a little bit more about your journey and the story of how this came about and helping people on the kind of money side of things.
Yes, thank you. So my story wasn't the most traditional one. I was a broke kid growing up in Serbia, former Yugoslavia, under sanctions,
Mm.
and just always had the big dreams, big goals that brought me to United States when I was in my early 20s
Wow.
to chase American dream and start a brand new life. And I spent almost a decade in financial services, moving up the corporate ladder, building up my
Mm,
career in banking for many years. And
mhm,
until I reached that American dream, and then I realized it's time to redefine it.
mm,
And it's time for something new with more fulfillment and something that really sets my soul in fire.
yeah.
And that's how I decided to live very different life, to start my entrepreneurial journey. I love my banking career, started my
Mm,
coaching business where I get to help clients reach their financial freedom and truly redefine their version of success.
mm,
Because all of us, we grow up with certain ideas of what success means for us and how we're supposed to live. And it's very difficult feeling when we work so hard to reach our dreams and then we realize these are not our dreams anymore. Or even worse, when we spend years working, like many people do all over the world. But, I feel like in North America, people work so hard. They
mm,
have an amazing work ethic. And then many of them still live paycheck to paycheck. And they don't
mm,
get to create life in more freedom. They don't get to do things they love in their lives. They don't get to take care of their families as much as they would like. And
mm.
because nobody is teaching financial literacy in schools,
Yes.
nobody's teaching those kids what to do with their finances, and they grow up to be adults who have access to financial products, but they do not have a knowledge to make the most out of it. And
Mm,
this is why I was so inspired over years, because I seen it all in banking. I worked at the beginning with clients who are struggling. I worked half of my career with only high potential, high balance clients, people who
mm,
are very wealthy, who build their lives in the most amazing ways.
mhm.
And it's so interesting to hear all of the stories on the both sides of the spectrum,
Yeah.
and really made me understand that knowledge and upgraded identity is what makes a huge difference. Huge
Wow.
difference, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. So there's a lot there that I'd love to go into. Let's go back though to this idea of the pivot, right? Where you were doing fairly well, it sounds like, but then you wanted something different, maybe something more. So for the coaches or entrepreneurs who are listening who are going through a pivot or a transition, first of all, how did you do it? And then what would you advise for someone who's feeling a little bit stuck, but they know they want more?
Yes, and that's a great question because many people feel stuck in their lives.
Mm,
And for me, I mean, imagine this was back in
yeah.
20, actually, I started having these ideas back in 2019
Mm.
and towards the end of 2019. And I was at the peak of my banking career at the
Oh
time.
wow.
I'm living in Chicago. My life is at the peak. I'm up for another promotion. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, oh my God, if I have another promotion, I'm not going to have a life anymore. Like literally, I'm already working long hours. I'm already working on my real estate projects on the side. Life is so busy. I'm
Mm.
thriving. I build the life I always wanted. I built everything I ever wanted, but I really don't have time for myself. I
Wow.
don't even have time to think what I would like and what's happening in my life and all
Yes.
these things. And I would people would tell me back then all the time, they would be like, "You're so lucky. You're so
Mm.
lucky. You have this amazing life. You made your dreams come true and all of it." But I felt so empty on the inside
Mm.
that every time when someone would say this to me, I would just feel even worse. And but I could not give myself permission to walk away from career I built at that time. I just could
Mm.
not. I could not. I was like, I worked so hard. I spent my whole life dreaming about this life, and now I
Yeah.
have it, and it does not feel right anymore. How
Mm.
possibly I can get away? And I have this great job, and I'm up for another promotion. I cannot walk away. And I used to say to myself, like, oh, I wish I get laid off because there is no
Mm.
way I'm gonna quit.
Wow.
And then 2020 arrived,
Yeah.
and so many layoffs, right?
Yeah.
COVID and the whole world changed. And I didn't know how to make the decision. I actually got laid off. I got laid off when the whole world was panicking. I
Yeah.
was relieved. But that was the first time in my life that I was unemployed for maybe, I don't even know. My whole first time in my adult life, I was unemployed for maybe 3, 4 months that
Yeah.
I actually had time to think about what do I really want. And I spent the previous 10 years hustling and
Mm.
working really hard. And I was like, I was asking myself, do I want my next 10 years of my life to look like the previous 10? And answer was no, like definitely no. In the previous 10 years, they served its purpose and they were there for a reason. And my path was like that by design. This is what I wanted. But it was time to do something else. And I think
Yes.
this is exactly where many people are.
Mm.
Either they can't pivot so fast because they have families to take care of or they have a lot of obligations and they have to put their finances in order
Mm-hmm.
before they can go on that entrepreneurial journey and do something else, or their finances are already in order but they struggle. There is that pain of what if I try something new, what if I fail, what if things don't work out, what if I'm judged for this.
Yeah.
Like there is many, and there is that illusion of security that we have when we work in a corporate America,
Yeah.
when the truth is we can be replaced overnight. Like layoffs are happening every
Yeah.
single day. And
Mm.
unfortunately, but
Mm.
the job security that previous generations experienced does not exist in this generation. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The world, the way it used to be, it's gone.
Yeah.
And when it comes to these pivots, I always tell people first and foremost, make sure you have your finances in order so you can
Mm.
make that step. Think about what you would really like what is something that you would do even if nobody wants to pay for it, like what you would choose to do anyways.
Yeah.
But create a plan, because we need a plan and structure to be able to execute on those big dreams and goals. Like they're not gonna
Mm.
just magically happen. And I'm all about manifestation, but we can manifest as much as we like. If these manifestations are not backed up by action,
Mm-hmm.
and every step that we take is, if it's not taking us closer to there, we are not gonna create a life that we dream about. So
Mm-hmm.
really me taking putting some effort and time into thinking what we really want and creating a plan around it, and upgrading our identity, because our
Yes.
mind has to be able to go there before our body follows.
That's right. And that's exactly what I was gonna ask next, where some people they get it, they're like, yeah, dream bigger and like go for more. And usually it is fear, right? Or there's something there that keeps them. And so from your perspective, in your story, like who did you need to become? And then who do people need to become to allow themselves to like believe again, dream again, even though they may be going through a layoff? Because your perspective was different.
Mhm.
You celebrated the layoff, but some people are obviously devastated and
Yes.
panic. So then who do they need to kind of step into as an identity?
Yes. Now, first and foremost, someone who trusts themselves. Like we
Mm,
often forget how many challenges we had to overcome in our lives to
mm,
be where we are today. It's so easy to take all these accomplishments we had in life for granted, especially you see this a lot with high achievers.
mhm.
And I'm sure you can relate to this as well.
Yes.
There's all these goals that you wanted to achieve in life, and you did many of them. And every time when you achieve one, you don't even pause for a second
Mm,
to really celebrate yourself for it. You're like, of course I did it. This is what I'm supposed to do. And
yes.
then you move on to the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing. And I spent my
Mm,
20s and my early 30s thinking this way.
yeah.
And but if we actually spend time to reflect on all these big dreams that we already made
Mm,
through, then maybe maybe 10 years ago, they seemed impossible. I
Mm-hmm.
made a list for myself the other day. Actually, I was inspired by something, and I was like, I'm
Mm.
gonna actually write down all the dreams that I made come true that
Mm.
seemed impossible in one point of
Wow.
my life. And I wrote down 29 things in like
Wow.
10 minutes. And
Nice.
you know, some are smaller dreams, some are bigger dreams, but all of these 29 items seemed
Mm.
impossible in one point of my life. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
any different than any of us. Like this is part of our journeys, and we don't spend time to reflect. We don't go back to tap into how much resilience we had to build along the way
Yeah.
and how much proof we have that we are capable. And this
Mm.
is crucial during life transitions, during hard moments, during pivots. Going
Mm-hmm.
back into the proof, all the proofs we build along the way that we are capable, that we are resilient, and
Yeah.
that we can create a life that we want in any given moment. And we can do that over and over and over again. We are made for that. We are built for it.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, our reptilian brain, part of it, would never let us just jump into it. The fear will
Mm.
always come there because there are parts of our brain that are just built to keep us safe and
Yeah.
to keep us small and to keep us with whatever is familiar, even if familiar does not serve us anymore. So
Absolutely.
being able to make friends with that part of us and be like, I
Mm.
hear you. I know you're here to make sure I'm safe. And
Yeah.
that's why you will never encourage me to make any changes. You are doing this for a purpose, but
Mm.
you don't get to be on the front seat. You go on the back seat. And I'm the one who is in the driver's seat making decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So then for the individual who's feeling ready, right? And they are tapping into the self-trust. So what else do they need to really believe? What are some belief systems that have helped you in your journey that can help an individual who's ready, they're dreaming bigger, but then they're still kind of on the fence. What beliefs really help?
Yeah, the first one, throughout our lives, we place many bets, right?
Mm,
And many times we trust others more than we trust ourselves, right? Especially when we need to hire someone to take care of maybe parts of our business or anything. Many
mm-hmm.
times we feel like other people are experts, but oh, we don't know what we should do. But
Yeah.
we forget that the best bet we can ever place is bet on ourselves,
Mm,
like the best,
yeah.
because nobody knows you more than you.
Mm,
Nobody knows your qualities. Nobody knows your flaws better than you. Nobody knows your fears better than you. And nobody can find a better way to conquer them.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. And I think a big piece there, because you mentioned it earlier, this idea of redefine. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So look at your wins, bet on yourself, trust yourself. So now we're starting to build out this individual who has no choice but to go for it. Right. So then
Yes.
now stepping into maybe the money mindsets and financial freedom type of concepts. What are some of those types of call them habits if you want that have really supported you that you would advise people to tap into on the financial side?
Yes, absolutely. It's actually very simple. One of
Mm,
my wealthiest clients, I always laugh when I think about this. He said, I built my whole wealth based on very simple rules, which
mm,
is live below your means, and don't ever forget the power of compounding interest and investments overall. And it's
mm.
it's actually that simple on the end of the day.
Yes.
Like we can look rich or we can be rich. And in
Mm.
today's society with social media and people like to show off and show the highlights of their lives, right? We put so much effort into looking rich,
Yeah.
and we waste money. And many people have this lavish lifestyle that they cannot afford. And they
Mm.
sacrifice on their freedom for it, to be perceived
Mm.
certain way, to be able to afford certain vacations or a huge house or this or that one, another fancy car or whatever that is.
Mm.
And it's not about living on a budget constantly. I really believe that people should spend money on the things they really care about, the
Yeah.
things that really make them happy, and really cut their expenses in the areas that they don't care. Like trying to impress anyone in this world Like many people went broke trying to do this.
Yeah, I know.
And North America, it's a really good example of that.
Yeah.
Like people have crazy amount of credit card debts. They're stuck in their lives. They're stuck in their
Mm,
homes. They are prisoners of their lifestyles. So the first, I would say the first rule, like live below your means and figure it out. What are the things? What is your budget? What is
mm-hmm.
your budget? What are the things? Where do you want to spend your money? Because we spend money on the things we care about, but
Yeah.
we shouldn't be spending money on the things we don't. And make
Mm,
sure there is always extra savings because without savings, we cannot get to investing.
yeah.
And we
Mm-hmm.
don't live in the world anymore that's just saving itself is good
Yeah.
enough. We save to invest.
Mm-hmm.
And sooner we start, younger we start, it's better. We're gonna get to grow well faster and to just before we blink, time pass by
Yeah.
anyways. Time pass by anyways, no matter what we do. Time pass by if we are buying another expensive purse. I would use our ladies as example,
Yeah.
or if we use that money to invest and let
Mm.
money grow. Like time pass by anyways, and what we do with that makes a huge difference. It can make us broke or it can make us wealthy.
Yes, yes. So now when it comes to time frames, right? I think a lot of us,
Mhm.
because of social media and just the speed of it all, it's easy to live very short-sighted and think about like this day, this week, this month, right? But I think underlying everything you're sharing, you're suggesting to like think longer term, right? Have a longer
Absolutely.
term perspective. So why is that important? And also what prevents people from thinking more long term?
I feel like the previous generation, like our parents' generation, they lived very different lives.
Yeah.
They were better savers and they were thinking about future. There was this mentality,
Right.
you work hard, you buy your house, you
Yeah.
save, and then when you retire, this is when you enjoy life. And this is how
Mm,
many baby boomers live.
yeah.
And then their children generation, and especially people, I'm in my late 30s, but
Mm,
in I would say our generation and people younger than
yeah.
us, especially the people now who are in their 20s,
Yeah.
like they want to live now, they
I
want to be
know.
happy now, but
Yeah.
nobody's thinking about the future.
Mm,
And there is a sweet spot between building your future and thinking in the long term and also enjoying your life as you go. There is the
mm-hmm.
sweet spot. We don't have to pick one or the other. And our parent generation pick one and we're choosing something completely different.
Yeah.
And neither one is good. There is a way to accomplish both. And it's just understanding that and trying to find a balance
Mm.
for each individual is what makes a huge difference.
Yes, yes. So then let's say our generation, right? Like what can we
Mm-hmm.
stop doing? What do we need to stop doing? Maybe it's a mindset, a belief, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad habit. I mean, we already spoke about, purchasing things to impress others, but beyond that, like what do we just need to stop doing?
We need to really stop blowing our money away on the things that we don't need and we don't really want and we don't care about. Like
Mm,
we have to stop. This whole generation has to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
hmm.
Like this world is not going to get magically better in upcoming years. Like we are
Mm,
facing all these different problems in the world, right?
yeah.
Like crazy things are happening around us right now and
Mm,
it's not going to go away. But we cannot blame on governments, we cannot blame on economy. We get to create the life we want right now, and that starts with good habits.
hmm.
And the first one, no more overspending on the things that don't matter anything to us. Like that's a golden rule. It's so simple, it's so boring, it's the most boring rule out there, but it's very important.
Yes,
Like
yes, yes.
stop overspending and just understand that you are trading your time and your freedom for money. Every
Hmm.
time you go to work, you are trading hours of your life
That's true.
for a money.
Mm,
So if you go and waste that money, you're wasting your time. You're literally saying to yourself, my life and my time here does it's not worth that much.
mm.
Because it's so easy, especially when you're working really hard. It's so easy to, when you're in your free time, to be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm working so hard. I'm just gonna spend my money on whatever I feel like.
Yeah.
But we're spending such big parts of our lives at work. So let's make it meaningful. Let's make it
Yeah.
count. Let's make the
Mm.
most out of it. And let's
Mm-hmm.
use this money, let's use that to create more freedom, to create more
Mm-hmm.
peace, to create more abundance, and not to create prisons for ourselves.
Right. Tell us about patience, because I feel like maybe there's something there around, like we just maybe need to, like we know what we need to stop, but what do we need to start? Maybe start being more, strategic, a longer term thinker, but
Mhm.
also maybe more patient, or what else?
Yes, patience is a big one. And also, we need to
Mm,
start paying ourselves first, right? We get a paycheck and then we pay your rent or mortgage and we pay bills. We spend money on everything, right? Paying ourselves first means you know how much money you can put aside every single month. And
mm-hmm,
when you get paid, you pay yourself first. You say, I matter. I matter. My life matter. My
mm,
future matters. And I'm going to pay myself first. And there is certain amount of money that comes to me first and it stays here. And that money is going to fund my investments. It's going to fund my dreams. It's going to fund everything I want in this life. But I pay
mm,
myself first, even if it's little. Even, let's say you're someone who is at the beginning of their career and you can put maybe $100 aside each month or even 50, whatever that is. But I choose to pay myself first before I pay anybody else, before I pay the banks, my landlords,
yeah.
all these companies, right? Pay myself first, even if it's little, because it
Mm.
sends the message. It shows appreciation to you and your future in your freedom or whatever you're trying to build in your life.
Yeah, yeah. So it's almost like in an automated fashion, when you say pay yourself, for people that I understand it, but for people who don't understand it,
Mhm.
clarify that it means they need to do what? Like they set up what in their actual bank system, or what do you suggest?
Yes, the moment you get paid, you see how much money, you usually know how much money you can put aside each month. And it's the best if it's automated. It goes directly when you get paid on those dates, it goes directly into your high yield savings account.
There we go. Yeah.
And you pay yourself first that way. And
Mm-hmm.
you honor yourself. And you say, no matter what is this amount, maybe that amount, maybe somebody doesn't have high income, this amount is low. Or maybe you have high income and this amount is higher. But whatever it is, you say, I honor myself. I pay myself first. Money goes there automatically, possible, each month before you pay anybody else in this world.
Yeah.
And that money is, I love Lisa Nicholson, the famous motivational speaker. She
Yeah.
always talks about her funding her dream. And back in the days when she did it, she was struggling financially, but every single dime she could save, back then checks were more popular, so she would write herself check and mail to her bank to be deposited to her bank account. In each
Mm.
check, in a memo, she would write funding Lisa's dream.
Oh, I
Like
love
literally, I'm
that.
having goosebumps now when I think about
Yeah.
that and her story. Like she's
Mm.
someone who went from poverty to being a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. And I'm getting chills too. I think there's this idea of like being creative, right? And owning that part of us that creates and builds and doesn't settle and doesn't, because I think also in your message you didn't say it, but there's a part there around self-respect, right? Like
Yes.
respect, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, and how that can show up as pay yourself first, stop freaking squandering your money, like be a longer term thinker. So when we say it out loud, it sounds obvious, right? But the question becomes, from your perspective, what else should we remember around respecting ourselves and self-respect?
Mhm. We need to remember that we matter and that we can always make a difference
Mm,
because there are so many people out there struggling financially, having dreams and goals, but the gap seems so big. Or
yeah.
maybe many of them, you'll be surprised how many High income earners are actually struggling financially because they have too much debt and their lifestyles are too expensive. And they feel
Mm.
like they're stuck in their lives and they're running the rat race. But remembering that we matter and
Yeah.
that we deserve to have an amazing life and that it's
Mm.
possible for each one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I am a first example of that because the way I grew up was very different where I arrived years later. Very, very different. There were many things that growing up seemed like almost like impossible dream that I would never reach. That
Mm-hmm.
became my everyday reality
Yeah.
and more and much more. And
Mm-hmm.
going back to that really remembering you matter,
Yeah.
you were born to have an amazing life that does not belong, and wealth and abundance that does not belong to some people that maybe you watch on social media or anywhere, right?
Mm.
It belongs to you. It belongs to each one of us. It's our
Mm-hmm.
birthright. And it's our responsibility to learn the skills because these are skills, to learn the
Yes.
skills because very few people learn this from their parents. The rest of the world has to learn on their own. So it's
Yeah.
our responsibility to learn the skills needed. It's our birthright to know that it's possible for us and that it belongs to us and that nobody can take that away from us.
Yes, I love that so much. A big concept, if you will, around this idea of an empowered mindset, and then obviously you can share
Mm-hmm.
more from your perspective, is the idea of blind spots, right? So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we think like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna squander my money, I'm not gonna overspend, but then we take actions subconsciously or otherwise, and then those are blind spots. What are some of the biggest blind spots that you notice that people need to be aware of?
I'm going to use two examples, and I'm going to share one example with people with lower income and people with higher income.
Yes.
People with lower
Yeah.
income who are struggling financially, many times their blind spot is feeling like, oh, what's the point of me trying to create some changes in my life? My life is going to be bad anyways. I'm
Mm,
so far away from where I would like to be. So who cares if I can save this $50 this month? Like, what? How it's gonna make a difference? $1,500 is not gonna make a difference in my life. So why would I even bother to try to save? Why would I even bother to cut on some of the expenses? Because whatever I do, my life is still gonna be bad, and there's no
yeah.
way for me to get out from this
Mm,
situation. So people feel very like demoralized, and they feel like, okay, there is no way they can do something, and they don't even try. And this is the
mm,
being blind spot.
yes.
A big blind spot, it's like choosing to be in a victim mentality. And when I
Mm,
say that, my heart goes to so many people who are struggling. My heart goes, and I struggle myself in many points of my life. I know how that feels. And I know there are many people who struggled much more. But on the end of the day, we are creators of our future.
yeah.
It belongs to us. And there
Mm,
is no space for giving our power away.
yes. I love that.
Power is here, and we get to do something with that. And my message for all of people listening to this, struggling financially, you can make a difference. Trust me. I did it. I lived it. Me and many other people, you can make a difference. Always.
I love
And
that.
the thank you. The big blind spot for high income earners is thinking, okay, great. Now I build up my career or I build up my business, right?
Mm,
Income is coming. I have all this, maybe even my business is going great, right? Or I have this high salary. I see
mm,
all this money coming into my accounts, right? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, but I have so much debt. I'm having this expensive cars and homes and expensive lifestyle, and maybe I really feel like owning a boat. I want to go out on. I want to be a boat owner to have my act at my friends this summer.
yeah.
Like all these things, right? All these things, and I always tell my clients and my friends as well. I don't care how much money you make. I care how much is your net worth on the end of the day because your net worth and your cash flow, they reflect your actual wealth and your financial health.
Yeah.
I do not care how much money comes in. You
Mm-hmm.
can have thousands and thousands of dollars coming to you easily every month. We've seen celebrities going bankruptcy
Yeah.
over and over again, right? We've
Yeah.
seen people like spending millions and billions and staying without
Mm,
anything.
yeah.
So being mindful of that, like not about just how much comes in, but how much stays, how much gets invested, how much is your net worth on the end of the day. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen more clients in banking who had moderate income throughout their whole lives, never were high income earners, never were low income, but somewhere in between, who were multimillionaires
Wow.
because they knew how to manage their money and they knew how to invest, and they did it for many years. And I've seen many high income earners who are broke.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I recently got into just to learn, right? Obviously now with AI and Claude and all these wonderful tools, it's easy to learn new skills. And one of the skills that I've just been kind of looking into is this idea of day trading. And as I was learning about it, a big concept is capital preservation,
Yeah,
right? Where it's almost like hedge the downside and don't lose more than you're willing to comfortably lose. So then
mm-hmm.
for those high net worth individuals, what do they need to shift, right? Like how do they start? Because think about it, right? Like they have this identity. I'm a high net worth person, I'm wealthy, I'm rich. And so they naturally want to show that to the world, or maybe not naturally, but maybe that's a block. So all that to ask, like, what do they need to shift to start preserving more of their capital, not just to save it and put it under the mattress, but to
Yeah.
grow their wealth? What needs to shift?
Yes, what I mentioned earlier, it's like we have to choose. We have a choice. Do we want to look rich or we want to be rich?
Yeah.
And while you're in your building years, it's different if you're already a millionaire, you're already a multimillionaire, you want to do something nice for yourself. It's
Yeah.
different. You build certain amount of wealth and you can afford some things easily. It's not going to change your
Mm,
lifestyle, it's not going to change your future much. But we are in these building years, like we really have to choose, do we want to look rich or we want to actually be rich?
But what if they say both, right?
The
Because, like,
In a building years, we cannot have both. We cannot.
uh,
Building wealth comes with good sacrifices. And I say good
really,
because not every sacrifice is bad.
yeah.
And
Mm,
some are worth it, some are not. I'm not saying, oh my God, don't do anything in your life. Don't go anywhere. Don't, if you love to travel, don't take any vacation. Just work and hustle. This is not
mm,
the message behind it. But know your goals, know where your money goes, know what do you need, how much money do you need to fund your dreams, and approximately calculate how long it's going to take you to get there. And be
mm,
smart. Money is a powerful tool. If we use that tool, we can use money or money can use us.
yeah,
And whenever we do anything, whenever, people spend tons of money to impress people that they don't even like.
yeah. Mm,
And I'm sorry, nobody ever got wealthy like that.
yeah,
And maybe like we live in the world, especially now with technology, with AI, where some people got rich overnight. And that's great. I'm so happy for them.
yeah.
But we cannot plan our future based on what if we get rich overnight. And I feel
Mm,
like many people in our generations and younger, they waste so many years of their lives and so many opportunities because they either want to get rich fast or they don't want it.
mm, yes.
And many of them fail along the way and they don't ever get what they want. And
Mm,
I feel like this is almost like disease of today's society.
yeah, yeah. Another big thing too, and I'm getting chills thinking about it, and we don't have to get too deep into it in case it brings up
Mm-hmm.
like political things, but I think also a pattern is this idea, not political, but just like whatever. But so this idea of parenthood where our previous generations, that was almost a given. Like, what? Like, of course, right? Maybe because again, not to go too deep into whatever, but like maybe because of spiritual beliefs or cultural beliefs. But what are you noticing about future generations that maybe they need to be aware of? Because naturally, if you have children, you have to think ahead, right? Like you have to think
Yes.
about more of a long-term focus. And so if someone doesn't is first of all not thinking long term, they're living paycheck to paycheck, they don't plan to have kids, like what's a belief or something they need to have so that way they can live for a greater purpose. I think maybe that's the whole point, to live for a greater
Yes.
purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Like we live very long lives today. Like it's unless we want to live until we die, which might be 90, 95, it can be 100 by the time we
Mm,
get to that age.
yeah.
Unless any of us have intention to work until we die, we
Mm,
have to plan for future. We have to plan for the older age. We have to plan for, you never know what happens. Even when we are young and healthy, something might happen overnight and our life can change.
yeah.
Like we have to plan for these things. And there is no workaround. And as
Mm,
much as we would like to live in a land where we are just wealthy and healthy forever,
yeah.
this might not be the case. Life throws all sorts of challenges at us, and we need to prepare for it. And nobody's
Mm,
coming to save us.
mm,
Like
yes.
we need to be able to save ourselves, and that requires planning for the future and making smart choices.
Yeah, and I think also this can tie right into this idea of the empowered, like mindset.
Mhm.
Because the operating word there is power, right? So as we start to wrap up, weave that into this whole thing. Then it's like, how do you want to empower people? Like, what is it that you want to, uh, yeah, remind them of or bring into their life?
I want to remind them that they are creators of their own lives. We all are.
Mm-hmm.
We get to create everything we choose for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in majority of the cases, nobody can take that away from us. And one day, the life goes so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like one day, we're gonna look back, and maybe we're gonna be 90,
Mhm.
and we're gonna look back and reflect on, did we live the life we chose for ourselves, or we were just victims of our own life circumstances?
Yeah.
And along the way, as much as we get tempted to maybe try to impress someone, or try to live life based on other people's expectations, on the end of the
Mhm.
day, the only people we need to make happy is that 6-year old version of us and that 66-year-old version of us.
Mm.
And if those two versions agree that we live the life well lived, that's all it matters.
Yes. I love that so much. So then, as we start to wrap up, if this was like your last message to the world, right? For one
Mm-hmm.
reason or another, right? Like this was the last message. What is that final message you want to share with the world?
The final message, I mean, there's so many, but the reminder that no matter where you're at your journey, no matter how you feel, no matter if you feel stuck or lost or you don't know what's next for you,
Mm-hmm.
like please just spend some time, think about what you really, really want and take the first step. And you don't need to know all the steps. You don't need to have a solution for everything, but know
Mm-hmm.
your next step and do it. Take that step and then take another one and another one. And don't give up until you feel good with who you are, where you at, how your life looks, and how your life feels, most importantly.
Mm.
Like
Yes.
this is what we owe to ourselves. This is what we owe,
Yes.
and this is how we get to really to be the best version of us, and this is how we get to serve the world around us in the best way possible, or like whatever matters to you, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And then just one final question, because you brought up something
Mm-hmm.
important there, because a lot of the times too, they like people start the journey, they know what they want, they know why they want it, but then the distractions come. right? So,
Yes.
so what do
Yeah.
you recommend for those that are on the journey, but then they doubt or external or like things just distract them? What do you recommend for those individuals?
I mean, nobody is around to make things better for us. And
Mm-hmm.
every time when we jump in, and it's so easy to get distracted today, right? This world is made for distraction, to made to distract us in every way possible. But on the end of the day, when you look back of what did I did in the past 12 months, did I bring myself closer to where I wanted to be?
Mm-hmm.
Or I was distracted by my Instagram or by life situation, by war going on, or by all these economical problems. Or I was
Mm-hmm.
distracted by maybe even my friends and people I love, whatever. On the end of the day, nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to make anything better for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like being distracted today is the luxury that majority of us cannot afford.
Mm, there we go. Well, that's the mic drop right there. And then how can people follow you and learn more about your mission?
Yes, thank you. They can find me on my website, which is empoweredmindcoaching.com, or
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. It's Instagram handle. It's empowered underscore mind and then two underscores. We're gonna share everything in the podcast so
Yes,
they're gonna have below in the link and also LinkedIn. Sonja Zecheric, my name. Yeah.
LinkedIn, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Anything else?
Thank you. That would be all. Like I would I would encourage everyone today listening to this to dream and play with that what it means for them. If
Mm,
somebody told the little girl in Serbia that one day I'm gonna live between Chicago and tropical paradise, Playa del Carmen, Mexico,
mm,
and work with my dream clients, have my dream
mm,
business, build wealth in real estate, all of these things, I wouldn't believe it.
yes.
I wouldn't believe it. I literally wouldn't. I would bet in my life back then that this would never happen. And
Wow.
I'm not any more special than anybody else of this world. So
Mm-hmm.
don't give up. Chase your dreams relentlessly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for the listeners, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Luis. It was such a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you.